Josephine Namuli has had 13 children in her reproductive life, a number that exceeds 6 that a woman is expected to have in Uganda, according to the 2011 Demographic and Health Survey. Unfortunately for Namuli, most of her children are dead, but she's glad that her reproductive life was ended by nature at 45 years.
It was abrupt. I just stopped, and only a few drops of menstrual blood came, but that was it.
Dr. Sarah Nakubura, an obstetrician gynecologist at Makerere University College of Health Sciences at Mulago Hospital, calls this condition menopause, when the eggs a woman was born with get finished.
The hormones that are produced by the presence of those eggs also get depleted. One of those hormones is estradiol or estrogen.
This marks the end of menstruation.
Usually around 45 to 55 years.
And it is natural, but not for some women. Lillian Tibarokoka got married at the age of 20, and by 28, she had had her last born, the 4th child, not by choice.
Clement, my husband, wanted 12 children. I had my firstborn by C-section, so he came down to 7, and Rachel came in second, but it was also C-section.
A caesarean section in most cases means that chances of a woman having more than 3 children are next to none. Lillian and Clement had 2 more. Life was good, however, in 2000, when she was about 37, she started getting problems with her abdomen.
Lots of pain, having fluctuations in my blood pressure.
Her gynecologist at the time and physician carried out an examination into her abdomen.
The uterus was fibrous. The prudent thing was to actually take it out. So I come out of surgery, and the first thing that occurred to me was, ooh, now you're not a woman like other women. No more having periods and so on. Not that I really enjoyed the experience of having them.
She went into denial and waited for her periods.
And I started feeling, what's this? Other women, you hear them tell you, oh, I just had my piece one of those days, and I'm thinking, not for me anymore.
After 6 months, she started coming round.
Okay, it's all right. No, it's not fine. It's okay, it's not fine. I even thought, maybe I'm pregnant.
With such a thought, Lillian started getting all the signs of pregnancy. She almost went for a check, but talked herself out of it. For most women, it is hard to accept nature, but nature must occur. But imagine when it happens, when it is just forced upon you.
Sorry.
Lillian went through this, and she had a depression.
Worrying about, not being able to satisfy your husband. You start worrying about a lot of weird things.
For almost a year, she was down until she again had a talk with herself.
My mother went through this. Other women have gone through it. I started, making friends with people that had gone through it.
Her husband was supportive all the way, even when she felt like she had lost her womanhood. And this daycare center she runs from her home in Kireka is a joy. The children make her forget any bad situation she has been through. The same happened in 2009 to then 35-year-old Genevieve Sambi, a model, former Miss Malaysia, as well as first runner-up Miss Universe. Lucky enough, like Lillian, she had had 2 children already. In an email Genevieve sent me via Global Health Strategies, she says the cause of her condition was cervical cancer. Surviving this cancer, which according to WHO kills almost 300,000 women worldwide annually, meant having a hysterectomy, a surgery that removes a woman's uterus. She also went through radiation as well as chemotherapy, drugs that kill the cells.
Radiotherapy would definitely take your ovaries.
Genevieve says, coming to terms with the fact that I could not have any more children and that I was losing my uterus was the most difficult part. I felt very young to be losing it. I tried bargaining with my doctors. Maybe I could have another child and then do my surgery. But that was not an option. Her family saw her through this. Now a vocal speaker on cervical cancer, Genevieve urges girls and women to go for a regular pap smear, a test used to detect precancerous cells.
Most times when we treat it early, we don't have to be aggressive because more often than not, it's not yet cancer.
This, she emphasizes, especially for young women, to avoid forced menopause. Gynecologists can diagnose natural menopause, but only after it has occurred. They can, however, tell a woman about the perimenopausal stage, which occurs between 5 and 10 years before bleeding stops.
The eggs start reducing in number and the hormones start reducing. So during that time, people may have either heavy periods or no periods at all.
Menopause is not without symptoms. According to WHO, there are hot flashes, vasoconstriction, vaginal dryness, painful sex, central abdominal fat, and decrease in breast tenderness. Another complaint is bone ache as the estrogen depletes.
It helps you with making sure your bones are strong enough, your skin is not wrinkled, it's smooth enough.
According to the Uganda Demographic and Health Survey, 9% of women aged 30 to 49 are menopausal. At such young ages, some of these women are thought to have what is known as premature menopause.
For reasons that we don't know, of course, there are certain conditions which may make them go earlier. If you have a surgery and you have probably a cancer on your ovary and the ovaries have to be removed. But also if you undergo radiation, again, many times for cancers. But sometimes people are exposed to radiation when they are unaware, depending on the factories you work in.
For most, though, premature menopause can be avoided.
A good diet, including all minerals and vitamins. And then it's important to exercise. Habits that are not good that can make you go into early menopause is smoking and obviously doing drugs of abuse.
It is not the end, however, for premature cases. They can have hormone replacement therapy to help with vaginal atrophy or dryness, as well as hot flashes that prevent sleeping.
They need to be followed up very, very closely because there are also other concerns with the hormones that we may be giving.
The chances of having children are also very possible due to advances in science.
If you have a uterus, someone can donate an egg. If you have a husband, he donates the sperms. That baby can be made outside and then implanted into your uterus after it's prepared. But if it has been removed, then if you still have your ovaries, they can get the ova from you and the sperms from your husband, and then they are placed, the embryo is placed in a surrogate mother.
Menopause is nevertheless a natural process supposed to be experienced by every woman.
If you haven't gone into menopause by 55, then there is a concern, it's delayed.
Gynecologists advise that women be better prepared for it. Life does go on, and with the advancements, it can be fully enjoyed without a woman feeling like a social misfit. Florence Dalimba, NTV.